Yes, good afternoon, everybody. And today we are allowing Vinayak Gupta to make a presentation on animal farm. Yes, Vinayak, over to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. My name is Vinay Gupta, and today I'm going to make a presentation on Animal Farm. So, Animal Farm is a novel which was written by George Orwell. This novel got published in 1945, and basically, this novel is set in the era. It signifies the Russian Revolution, like how the Russian Revolution took place and how things got changed under the leadership of Stalin and when the Nicholas II was overthrown from his place by the communist revolutionaries. So basically, in 1917, when Nicholas II was overthrown from his place by the communist revolutionaries, and Stalin took the leadership, the communist leadership in early 1920s. So everyone expected that things will get better, things would get better from what it was under the leadership of Nicholas II, Tsar Nicholas II. But the opposite thing happened, and people were working harder under the leadership of Stalin, but still they were starving to death. They were not getting the food. They were working harder every now and then. They were working harder, but still they were not able to fulfill their necessities, the basic necessities. But still, the Stalin and his politicians promised that the situation is better as compared to that what it was under the leadership of what it was under the leadership of previous leader. So it also, Animal Farm also signifies this Russian Revolution, and it Orwell is basically the style of writing is so good of Orwell that in a political satire he just tried to convey all those things in a very humorous manner, but as on the other hand it is also giving us a good message about corruption, about like how when one power gets associated with someone, how that particular person get corrupted. Okay, so it also signifies that even when George Orwell tries to, when he wrote the first draft of this novel, his flat got bombarded in London, and no publication was not ready to publish this book due to the content which it has. So it was very much the fear of the Russian Revolution, because it was very new at that point of time. It got published in 1945, and the Russian Revolution and things like that occurred in 1900, in early 1920. So it was very fresh in the minds of people at that point of time.
Yeah.
So it was like fearful situation, and Orwell, we have to praise Orwell, the kind of writer he was, because for this novel he also got certain praise also, because the way he has written, the way he has associated each and every character of Animal Farm, and he just correlated each and every character to the Russian Revolution also. Because there Lenin, there is a leader Lenin who just make the people to revolt against Tsar Nicholas. Okay, and in Animal Farm also there is a character associated with that who is Old Major. So he has connected each and every character from that particular era to the Animal Farm, and it is also like people will get connected to it, because each and every character is a very humorous character. Some are very some signifies the real part of the society, real part of our society, the working class, and each and every now. So now I would like to introduce each and most of the major characters which are we have in Animal Farm. So first character is Old Major. So Old Major was basically a boar who ignited the spark of revolt in the heart of all the animals who lived in the Animal Farm. Basically, there was a master of the farm whose name was Mr. Jones, and he used to be drunken every now and then. He used to just torture the animals. Okay, he used to sell the eggs, the cow's milk, and just he don't used to give animals food, and basically he didn't feed them. Okay, so one day Old Major gathered all the animal, and he just conveyed what he thinks about the future of the animals, like they deserve to be live under their own leadership. Like they are the animals, so they don't deserve to be mastered by a human being. They can do their management, and they can do their all those stuffs by their own. So old major was the one of the most important character, and he basically at that point of time there was a anthem known as Beast of England, in which all his things, like whatever his opinion was, whatever his we can say that whatever he want to change, he just portrayed all those things in that lyrical form. Okay, that was Beast of England. But unfortunately, when revolt occur, he was not alive, and now the things, now the power, or we can say that the revolt passes to the his younger pigs, whose name there were three younger pigs basically. More importantly, Napoleon, then we have Squealer, and then we have the third character, Snowball. So Snowball, these are the pigs who took the charge from old major to themselves, to just throw away Mr. Jones from that farm. Okay. So first of all, I would like to introduce Snowball's character. So Snowball is one of the young pig who used to teach all the animals there. Okay. He used to teach all the animals there, and try to make them understand what is good and what is bad. Like they if they will have the if they will have the knowledge, they will have the literacy, then they can change, then they can think that what is wrong and what is right. So Snowball is one of the characters. Then we have Napoleon. Look, Napoleon is the character under which the whole story revolves. Okay, so whether we can say that Napoleon's character as a protagonist or as an antagonist, I don't think it will be too right, because at some time he's the main, not hero, but like it is the character under which all the story around which all the story revolves, right? Everything is going against around Napoleon, and is one of the most important character there. Look, Napoleon always look, whenever power gets power move from one person to another person, the person always try to get empowered. Like they always try to empower the other animals. Same happens with Napoleon also. He just tried to become the leader of the animal farm. Okay, and due to which, between Napoleon and Snowball, he just tried to manipulate other animals on the behalf of, so that they could not believe Snowball as a good, could not believe Snowball as a good pig. Okay, so he was basically trying to manipulate the other animals. Okay, and then we have Squealer. He was a propagandist of we can say that Napoleon. Yes, Napoleon, because every time whatever the amendment,
the media person. The
yes,
media of Napoleon, like
whatever changes was made by Napoleon, he just tried to convey that no, whatever the changes has been made is under the favor, is for the favor of the animals. So whether the changes is against the animal, still he tries to make sure that, oh, everything is going fine, everything is under the for the benefit of the animal. Okay, so he was we can say that he's a spokesperson of Napoleon. And then we have the most important, then we have some more characters also. We have first of all, I would introduce Benjamin. He was the old animal on the farm, like also an intelligent animal, because he was the only animal there who was literate, like who know what is right and what is wrong. Because initially, when the amendments when the seven commandments were made, and when Napoleon got the charge, when Napoleon became the leader, whatever the amendments, whatever the changes were made, it was Benjamin who just who just tried to convey all the changes to all the animals, because the other animals were not able to read and write. So it was Benjamin who tries to convey, like, oh, this kind of changes are happening in the field, so you should be aware of that. So it is the duty of Benjamin who just tried to convey all those things. And he was his great companion was a boxer. Okay, so now we will move to Boxer. So there were two horses on the farm, and the male one was Boxer.
There were 3 horses.
Oh yes, one more. So there were 3 horses on the farm. So the male one was Boxer. Look, he was physically strong. He was the strongest person. He was the strongest animal on the animal farm with an enormous beast. Like he was very powerful, but I would say that he was mentally strong. He was not sorry, he was physically strong, but he was not mentally strong. He was not mentally intelligent to differentiate that whatever the amendments, whatever things were conveyed to him, whatever the orders were delivered by Napoleon, he just tried to believe all those things, all those orders without thinking anything. And he made two maxims in his life. First thing is Napoleon is always right, and second thing is that he will work hard. So these are the two maxims which he made in his life. And it also signifies the working class of our society, where the middle class person used work very hard, and they are just gullible. Like whatever they are being said to, they do so with their duty, with their, we can say that their best effort. Okay, so this, and then we have the dogs. Okay, so these are the characters which Napoleon loves so much, because they are the guard dogs, the of Napoleon, because whenever a Snowball used to teach the other animals,
they are the security of Napoleon.
Yes, ma'am. So whenever Snowball used to teach other animals, Napoleon used to take the puppies to a certain place, and he just used to say that he was taking them to convey the principles of animalism. And there, in a sake of that, he was just making them fierce, so that in the nearby future, when he come to the power, in power, they would just become their guard dogs, and they would just do what Napoleon wanted from them. Okay, so these are the characters of dogs. And now I would like to move towards the story of Animal Farm, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, so Animal Farm, as I mentioned earlier, also the old major like Animal Farm was the Animal Farm's initial name was Manor Farm. Okay, and it was under it is owned by Mr. Jones. Okay, so he's a character who just every time who just used to get the foods, get the byproduct of the animals, and just used to sell them in the market. And as in the compensation also, he does not give anything to the animal there. Okay, he always used to be drunken every time. He just used to torture the animals. So one day, the old major, one of the boar gathered all the animals there, and he just tried to convey that yeah, they should live their separate life. They should not live a life under the leadership of a human being, because as an animal, as a group of the animal, if someone should lead them, it should be amongst them. So any animal, any human being should not lead them, should not say them like what they have to do and what they have to do. So there is also an anthem that he introduces an anthem, Beast of England, and unfortunately after 3 nights he also dies. So from there the charge goes to the younger pigs, like I have already mentioned about them. We have Squealer, we have Napoleon, we have Snowball. So there are 3 pigs. Snowball used to teach all the pigs, and not pigs, other animals also. And Napoleon, in sake of teaching the puppies the animalism principle, he just used to make them fierce dogs, so that in the future they could guard them. They could guard him, and they could do what Napoleon wants them from. Okay, so everything is right. In initial days, Animal Farm was going very Animal Farm goes very well. Like everything was going in place, and everything was fine. But as we say that whenever power comes, like in a single family, whenever power gets associated for a single family, it just distinguish that two family into two parts. It just splits the two family, we can say. So it same happens with the Animal Farm also. And Napoleon and Snowball, these are the two characters who all everyone tries to be in the common people. Like everyone wants to get attention of the animals. So same happens with Napoleon as well as Snowball. But Snowball was not as corrupted as Napoleon was. Okay, so Snowball always tries to initial days. Snowball and every animal look in the initial days there there were many changes in initial days. Whenever some decision used to happen, every animal used to gather at one place, and the leaders used to deliver whatever they want to. So similarly, Snowball comes with the idea of constructing a windmill, and at that point of time, Snowball delivers a long lecture like what are the plans and what are the processes they have to follow it. But Napoleon, as his rival, Snowball's rival, he was just opposite to the idea of construction of the windmill. He just delivered a small lecture, and he just made a different kind of noise at the end of the lecture also. So initially Napoleon was not in the favor of construction, in the favor of constructing a windmill. Okay, and look, whenever Snowball also tries to then Snowball was being thrown away from the animal farm by his dogs, by his well-mannered dogs. Napoleon's well-mannered, for Napoleon's it was well-mannered because it was the dogs were doing what they he wanted.
The dogs were groomed for it.
Yes, ma'am. The Napoleon's dog used to Napoleon's dog throw Napoleon away. Snowball away from the animal farm, and before this also one time after this, the initial owner like. Mr. Jones tries to invade Animal Farm once more time, but look, then the Battle of Cowshed happens, and there also many animals again make Mr. Jones throw away from the Animal Farm again. So it was a victory for them, but they don't know that another Mr. Jones was evolving into his own farm, whose name was Napoleon. So as Snowball was thrown away from the, as soon as Snowball was thrown away from the farm, now Napoleon tries to take the power of all those things. Like initially, whatever the decisions used to be made, all those things decisions used to be made in presence of all the animals. But now his propagandist Squealer used to tell all the animals that what the decisions have been made. Now the pigs started taking the decisions without the involvement of any other animals, right? Then also Napoleon, because Snowball was a very reliable animal. Sorry, why I'm saying person. Snowball was a reliable animal amongst all the animals. So every animal used to believe Snowball, but Napoleon used to convey different stories, like his own stories about Snowball, that Snowball was the companion of Mr. Jones. He tried to invade the field. So different stories just to manipulate the other animals, that Snowball is a wrong person, I am a right person. So I will, the decision I will make towards in favor of all yours. So it is just what Napoleon just tries to manipulate all the animals towards Snowball. So these things happened, and then again Napoleon, who was initially not in the favor of construction of windmill, now he also becomes in favor of the construction of windmill, and he proposed the idea of windmill, and every animal used to started contributing towards the construction of windmill. And as I have already mentioned, boxer, the physically strongest animal on the farm, he just used to do all the hard works, all the things which were done which were required on the in the construction of windmill. So he used to do all those stuffs, and one day his neighbor farmer, with which he started doing the trade also, okay, whose name was Mr. Frederick. Mr. Frederick like just threw dust into the eyes of Napoleon, and he invaded the windmill, and unfortunately the windmill also got collapsed, demolished, and under its reconstruction. And again, look, the group of farmers again invaded the animal farm just to recapture the because look, animal farm become every now and then when every animal started working and every animal started contributing towards the benefit of the farm, it becomes one of the richest farm, one of the like we can say that wealthiest farm amongst the locality. So every farmer, every nearby farmer tries to invade that, tries to capture that farm. But again and again, with the courage of the animals, with their spirit, with their dedication, determination, they just persistent, with their persistent efforts, they just every now and then they just make away from the farm. And because they are they are towards the benefit of the farm, and they are thinking that whatever Napoleon is doing, they are doing right. Okay. And again, like Boxer, he also got injured during the Battle of Cowshed, like he was badly injured there. And while the reconstruction of windmill, also he just got injured there. And then he was taken away in a van. Okay, he was taken away in the van because now he also knew that now it is the time for his end. Like he's not gonna live so long. He also knew that. So Squealer, Napoleon's propagandist, he just convey all the animals that he was taken in a veterinary van, but he knew that he was taken away for the by the butcher for a glue maker, because Napoleon sold Boxer to a glue maker, so that whatever the money he will get in compensation of Boxer, he can buy wines. Now every principles, every commandments which which he has made, like no animal will drink wine, no animal will sleep on bed, all those commandments started changing, and all those things become all those commandments were changed. And the only commandment which survived there, like all animals are equal and some are more equal. Okay, this is the only commandment which were written there, because while initially in the initial days when the revolution started, and in the initial days of animal farm, there were 7 commandments, but now all the 7 commandments gets converted into one commandment, and that commandment is all animals are equal but some are more equal. And then these things happened. And look, most of the animals also knew, like Clover is the mare horse, who also knew that something bad is going on. Look, something bad is going on, but she doesn't have that courage to put the voice against Napoleon, because whoever was putting the voice against Napoleon, they were prosecuted, they were executed by his dogs. Okay, so everyone was scared that if someone will put the voice against, if someone will raise their voice against Napoleon, they will be prosecuted. And it also signifies those section of society who don't have the courage to talk about the corruption, talk about the corrupted people. Okay, so these things happened. And as time passes, Boxer was also taken away, many animals were killed, many animals died. And one day he with a farmer named Mr. Pilkington. Look, before this, I would like to say something like the pigs started changing their dressing sense. Now they were walking on 2 legs, they were wearing clothes of human. So the animals were like shocked, like they were not able to differentiate that who are humans and who are animals, humans and who are pigs. So one day the pigs decided to invite Mr. Pilkington, because look, they wanted, now the pigs were behaving as a human, so they just try to expand their territory, expand their region of violence, we can say that. So he just invited Pilkington there, and they just started on that night they drank and as well as they started playing poker also with that farmer. And they just try to do all those things, try to manipulate the plans which they have made, the plans which they try to make. So this is the whole and soul story of Animal Farm, which also signifies that whenever power gets associated with someone, it corrupts that person, and when absolute power gets associated, it corrupts absolutely. Thank you. I'm done, ma'am.
Yeah, sorry, Vinay. So what is the ending of the story? That was a very thoughtful insight of analysis of Animal Farm. So how do you see the end of the story?
Ma'am, it also the end of the story signifies that, like, whenever power gets associated with the pigs, ma'am, they just started changing the nature of the thing, ma'am. Like, now they are wearing clothes of human, ma'am. They are drinking like human. So it basically signifies that what initially were not achievable, what initially were against the law, now they are all those things were under the law, ma'am. So it basically signifies the corruption. It basically signifies the wrong uses of power, ma'am. Like, whenever power is associated, they are just using it according to their own convenience, like whatever they are thinking good, and also they are thinking that they are the decision makers. They are thinking that they are superior to other animals. It also signifies that while the hard works are being is being still done by the other animals, they are just doing it. They are just taking the benefits of their hard work. They are just living their life on the hard works of other animals.
All right. You did not. We spoke a lot about Napoleon and his atrocities, whatever he did with the animals over there. But you did not highlight the feelings of the animals who were oppressed. And in the end, what happens? The animals were were very unhappy with Mr. Jones, but they were sadder. They were more upset with the taking over the animal by animalism. They were more upset because at least Mr. Jones, if they kept them hungry, they kept everybody hungry. All the animals were hungry. All animals went hungry. But when he did not uh, favor any animal, but what the pigs were doing, they were favoring themselves. So
Yeah.
it was a self glorification. So what did they think? The animals thought, at least Mr. Jones, when he was kind, he was giving us food, and when he was in a state of drunken mood, then drunken state, he did not give food to anyone. So the animals thought, at least men are better than animals. At least Mr. Jones is to provide us food sometimes of quality to each and every animal. But what is this? What is Napoleon doing? He's getting the best of everything. So yeah, you spoke about that cafe where the pigs and the are sitting over in a restaurant over some a game of poker. They're doing what men do in cafes, and these animals were watching from the outside.
And ma'am, at last, ma'am, the animals were not able to distinguish men and pig also.
That is the last thing. The animals did not know. They could not make out who are the animals and who is Napoleon and who are the men. They could not differentiate. And the last line, which is the most important line, the animals already had decided to take over, to rebel against Napoleon. The same way when they had started the rebellion against
Mr. Jones.
Mr. Jones. The same thing, same thoughts came over these animals, and then they said, "No, we cannot take this anymore." So at least Mr. Jones was better than the animals, the Napoleon, all put together. So what they decide? They rush towards the cafe to attack Napoleon, and that is the end. You missed out the end. uh, they saw them, they could not appreciate, they never appreciated. So what is this slogan? All animals are equal, but some are more equal. So they forgot about the goodness, they forgot about the progress, they forgot about, they were only looking for the personal benefits. And so the second revolt, the rebellion started when these animals, when they saw Napoleon and the men in the cafe, that was that particular moment they decided, no, this is it, and we will not take this anymore. And on these thoughts that at least Mr. Jones was better. When we were hungry, we all went hungry, and when we
And they
ate,
attacked them, ma'am.
everybody ate. So and then they rush towards the cafe to attack Napoleon. The abstract is a very hidden ending it has. When you when you read the last paragraph of the story, you will understand. They rush towards Napoleon to attack him. It means the second revolution.
Yes, ma'am. Made by the animals against the animal.
Yeah.
That was against
So
human
yeah,
being, but this is against the
this was
animal
against the
also.
animals, and they summarized it. So yes, no matter what, of course, human beings are better than animals. An animal can never become a human being, but human beings can become animals. Humans can become animals, but an animal cannot
And
become a human being. So this is a very beautiful, thought-provoking story of Animal
actually, ma'am,
Farm.
it's a long novels. Actually, that is why I think I missed some points also.
Yeah, you missed out the ending. Like read the
Yes,
paragraph again, and the whole thing will come to you. Like of course, animals are. Mr. Jones he's a human being, and he's far better than animals. जब खाना दिया तो सबको दिया, भूखा रखा तो सबको भूखा रखा. और ये तो क्या था? He was only eating the best of things. They were the mind workers, no? They were the mind workers, so they needed more food. So they were the brain workers.
yes, ma'am.
So the brain workers need to have more food.
And ma'am, also Napoleon also used to sold the eggs of hen to the in the market. Like he just started trading also, ma'am, in
Yeah,
order to get.
he started. He was doing the same things, and even in a worse manner.
Yes, ma'am.
He did the same things, but in a worse way, in a way where these animals could not take it anymore, and the animals were unhappy, but with Mr. Jones around, but they were sadder, they were frustrated when Napoleon took over. So this was the story Animal Farm, though the PPT still is there for students who would like to get a better view of whatever is happening, whatever happened in Animal Farm. And I hope you have understood the story, and we can start off with something else. I'll complete the characters and the Animal Farm so that you will not have any problems, not only for your exams, but you should know the story. And we have recommended these stories to even the new classes that we are starting, like the bridge classes. The movies should be shown to them. It is indeed a very beautiful story. And yes, Vinayak, a very beautiful thought-provoking presentation, I must say. And yes, you have tremendously improved. So
Thank you so much.
that's nice.